Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? We got Dr. Norton Therapy here today, and welcome to 2K20 Collab. Today we are going to have Mr. Kevin Riley. So I see you just joined the joint. Yes, sir.
What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? How's everything, bro?
Everything's good, man. How you been?
I'm good. I'm good. It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yo, we haven't seen each other since when, high school?
Yeah, probably graduation for real.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I mean,
Long time.
I keep up with your social media and all that, but
Yeah, of course, of course, of
yeah,
course. Same over here, man.
for
How's
real.
everything? How's the family?
Family's good. Family's good. My wife's still working. She's a pharmacist, so she's essential. But the kids are good. Virginia, we don't have it as bad as you know, up
In New
top.
York. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, New York.
they say New York's like the epicenter. I know you're right in the mix of it too. So
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. My fiance is actually she essential worker too. She works in Monterey, but she works in the finance department. But they
okay,
still have her, there at work. So
right.
it's
So she's
just
doing
me.
the hand washing, gloves, and all that.
Yeah, yeah, all
Yeah.
that. She doesn't really have to be in the hospital per se. She works off site in the building,
Okay.
so that's the plus side of it. So
Nah, that's tough. That's tough. Yeah, man. With my business, so I got my therapy business, so I went all virtual. For like a week I was doing it with the mask. That's not really therapy though. So want to try to
yeah,
make sure everyone's protected, make sure everybody's good. Prayers up to the family, prayers up to the country, prayers up to the world for real.
yeah. My little one's at the door right now, under the door,
Oh, for real.
screaming
I
at
mean, I'm
me.
pretty sure my guys are going to be coming, coming down, knocking
So
and
she over
shaking.
there screaming at me right now.
Yeah, fatherhood though, man. Fatherhood. We gotta lead by example, man, for
Yeah,
sure,
of
for real.
course, of course.
Yeah. So we were talking before. Let me make sure I got it so we can record. I want to make sure that when we're done with this, I can, how we talked about all whatchamacallit is good.
I see my cousin join. What's up, Nafisa?
All right, whatever. I don't know how to do it. I'll figure it out though. All right, so yeah, man, let's go ahead and get started.
Mm-hmm.
What is this doing? All right, there we go. We good. We good. We good. All right, so the purpose of this, we're trying to add value to the people virtually. Everyone's going through the pandemic. I know you're really involved with the community. You right there on the front lines at ground zero for real. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's just do the intro and then we'll take it from there.
All right. Well, what I do per se is I work for the Speaker of the New York State Assembly. So the New York State Assembly is the lower legislative body of the New York State Legislature. So he's the head person of that body. So what I do for him is I'm his community relations director. So prior to this happening, I was the person that was, the pinpoint person in the community with throwing events on his behalf, going to speak, if he wasn't able to be there on his behalf, and kind of, being around and having his representation in the community. So
Right.
any needs that will come from the community, I will relate it to him, relate it to the proper parties in the office, and we'll take care of that. So like we had a lot of things, planned before prior to this happening. So this is like this is the election year number one.
Okay.
So that kind of made things difficult because this happened right during our petitioning time. So a lot of, legislators had a difficult time, acquiring the signatures they needed, because, a lot of people didn't want to be out. And also you can't really interact with your constituents also if you can't really be around them. So right now, I think a lot of elected officials, a lot of community leaders and community advocates are around trying to figure out how we could kind of still help
Right.
without being around them. So I've been doing like small things here and there,
Yeah.
just to show appreciation. It's all fairness and it's good, but it's a small token because at the same time, these people are there every single day dealing with this issue. They're seeing things that we're not seeing. They're hearing things we're not hearing. They're really at the front line. When you're at the front line, you don't really understand, what that could do to a person's well-being.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. First of all, how are your seniors, man? I know I seen y'all out there.
Oh my, I'm yo, and that's the crazy part. I miss them, man.
The seniors,
Because
right? Yeah.
I love my job, man. I really, really, truly love my job. I love dealing with my community. You gotta understand, like this is a neighborhood I grew up in.
Right.
I mean, like our high school that I just spoke about is in this neighborhood. So I
Right.
grew up in this neighborhood, and I happen to live in this neighborhood still, and I
Yeah.
can contribute back to it and help it get better. So I miss, seeing seniors, people I saw, growing up and really leading the way for me, and I'm helping them out. And I lost a lot of seniors too. I lost
Because
a
of the
lot.
virus.
Yeah, because of the
Yeah.
virus, we lost. We continue to. I just found out I lost two people this past weekend that just passed. And
Man.
that's just because of the virus. And it's heartbreaking because the last time you seen them, we were all dancing, doing that. And now I don't even have the opportunity to do that again because this pandemic just happened out of the blue.
Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Now with politics, right? I feel like everything's all right. So therapy and politics, two things that our culture isn't too familiar with.
Yeah.
With you being young, kind of having your pulse on the culture, do you think like you can incorporate like information age kind of stuff, like I don't know, like Google Hangouts or like Zoom meetings? Like, what do you think? What do you see the future to connect with people?
So right now I'm trying to actually figure something out where I could kind of impact people our age to kind of get involved into politics.
Yeah.
Right now, no one wants to really hear about any legislation. With people are just trying to figure out what's going on to get past this time that we're in now. A lot of
Right.
things going on with people want to hear legislation that has to deal with this pandemic right now.
Right.
That's really the most important thing.
Stimulus checks, that kind of
Like
stuff.
unemployment
Right.
on a federal level where they extended unemployment for people. Like they had like a record number within the last couple of days of people that signed up for unemployment. You got legislation like that. You got legislation that are helping businesses out that have to pay mortgages. You have legislation that's helping tenants that want to have to pay their rent, and this is kind of things that we need right now. We're focusing. So with politics right now, we're trying to kind of tie people in. I'm really on the community aspect of it where I'm helping people out and kind of seeing what they need and how could I help. One thing I did do in my district, we kind of brought a testing center over here when we
Oh, okay.
contacted the governor and kind of made sure and asked him if it was possible if he could help us out with getting a testing site, because we represent not in the assembly district but in other electoral districts in my area represents Co-op City. And
Okay.
that's if you remember over there by Bay Plaza, that's
I
like
used to
a
live in
prime.
section 2 for like a
Exactly.
couple of years. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like a central area for everyone that lives uptown in the Northeast
Right.
Bronx. Everyone really goes to Bay Plaza. So we went like a testing site there, and Co-op City is the biggest cooperative development in the nation.
Mm.
So the population there is just ridiculous. So imagine if a couple people get sick there,
That's
that's like a
yeah.
whole population right there that could get sick. So we want to make sure we got a testing site in that area.
Right. I think you got just a wealth of resources. I mean, I see you as the mayor, man. I see you as the senator. I think that just being able people to relate to someone that looks like them, that talks like them, and being able to, even if you can't, I mean, connect the dots on certain things, but people right now they're frantic. People are dying. You can't have funerals.
Yeah.
People are going to the hospital. They can't have visitors, and just your engagement in the community is honorable, bro. So I just want to applaud you for that, for real.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
Nah,
that, man. I really
no doubt,
appreciate
no
that.
doubt. So, politics, that's something you always wanted to get into, or what you
No way.
Okay.
You know what? Honestly, when I was growing up, when I was in high school, like I didn't know what I wanted to be. Like, when you're younger, you think you want to go into being a doctor first, you're a lawyer.
Right.
Those are like the two occupations you really hear about. Then it's teacher or a transit worker. Then you
Right.
hear about those after. Politics wasn't, as you like you said, there's not many people in our community that's interested in politics.
Right.
And it wasn't something I was even paying attention to. I didn't even know about an assemblyman when I was growing up. I knew about, you hear terms like mayor, so you know what the mayor is, you hear
Right.
president, but you don't hear about small terms like, I didn't know there was two senators. There's like a U.S. Senate and there's a state senator. There's two
I just learned
senators.
something.
Yeah, it's two different type of senators in a state. There's the New York State senator. Well, in New York State, there's a New York State senator, and then there's our U.S. congressional senator, the person that represents it. And those are two people. Those are Christine Gillibrand and Chuck Schumer from
Okay.
over
I
here.
heard Chuck Schumer.
Yeah, there's 63 senators in New York State though.
Oh
So
wow.
there's, you know what I mean? There's more. So there's different terminologies I didn't really know about growing up. And then when I went to college, I went to become a lawyer at that time. So they didn't have a law department at SUNY College of Westbury. So I joined politics, economics, and law. It was politics, economics, and law department. So I wanted to do law. And then I pledged, you know, our great
Right, right.
country, Kappa Alpha Psi.
Yes,
So
sir.
when I
Always pray.
crossed over, you know, when I had crossed over, I met a good brother, the late great John Hicks, and I was talking to him, and he kind of, I told him like, yeah, I want to do law, but I'm in the politics. He's like, oh, you know what? You should. I know a great dude, politician in the Bronx, and you should kind of connect with him. This man introduced me to the elected official, the assemblyman that was from my neighborhood. He was from the Valley. You know what
Oh,
the
for
Valley's
real?
at?
Okay, yeah,
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 from my neighborhood in the Valley, and his office was down the block from my first job in the district, which is the library on East Chester on Gunner Road.
yeah.
So
Right.
it was like he introduced me to him, and I started working, and I really got to, you know, help out my community, and I loved it, man. It was really dope. Like when you walk, like every day you see people when you go to the bus, when you go get your a coffee or tea or whatever you get, a lunch, you
Right.
might see a familiar face. Sometimes his face might be smiling. Sometimes his face might be me upset or sorrow,
But it's a
but
community.
it's a community. You don't know what's going on. So I used to see these individuals that I see in the community. They came into the office and I'm helping them out. You get people that you can help out, and you really feel good for helping them out. Like you don't want nothing back, but just be able to help them out, get them information, be there for them when they need it. Like I had individuals and constituents come to me that, you know, didn't have any ends means, and you just point them in the right direction, because a lot of times, even myself, even now, we don't know certain things.
Yeah, we
Like I
don't
said,
know. Yeah.
we don't know, and we're not cognizant of certain things, and that's the big issue in our community. We don't like to share information amongst each other. It's like when we get information, we like to keep it from each other to
Right.
try to overstep. You know what I mean? And that's
Right.
not going to help us as a community grow. So when I was put in that predicament, when I could do that, help people in my community, I started loving politics. And now I'm at a position now. I went from constituent liaison to office manager to
Wrong.
community relations director. I'm a
Right.
district leader in my area, and now I'm a candidate for city council in 2021.
It's only up
So
from
yeah,
here too.
so
That's
it's
that's
just
the
keep going up. Yeah,
yeah. That's the exciting part, man. I mean, it's only up from here. You starting in your community, you empowering your community, and just kind of, especially pandemics like this.
yeah,
20 years from now, man, you know, when you're up there, you go like, man, I remember when I had to X, Y, and Z.
yeah.
You ground zero. This is like 9/11
And,
from
and
outside of New York. That's what it. You know what I'm saying?
And what you remember 9/11. You
I
remember when
remember.
we was
Yeah,
all
we
in
was in Mount.
school?
Yeah.
Yeah, we was all in school when
Right.
9/11 happened. And I remember I was in Mr. Peach class. I don't know if you remember Mr. Peach,
Okay.
our religion teacher. And you remember he was a veteran. You remember he was in the
Right.
army and stuff. So you remember how he took it and things of that
Right.
nature. And at that time, and that's even funny too, because at that time I didn't realize how serious the situation was.
No one did. We was ninth
No,
graders. I
yeah,
mean,
we was in ninth grade, so you
yeah.
know what I mean. We didn't realize we was, and it was just school just started. That was in September. We
Right.
were
School
just
just
filling
started.
each other out, filling out high school, this and that just hit.
Right.
You understand? And it's funny that you bring up that, because now you look at the kids now. Look at the kids now going through it, because
Right.
this is like you taking kids out of element. Now imagine we just going to high school now, and we're trying to get our foot in the door, or imagine we graduating high school now and
Trying to
this
go to
just
college.
happened. You
Yeah.
got kids that can't go to their prom. You
Right.
have kids that aren't able to graduate. You got kids that are missing out on opportunities, couldn't do extracurricular activity. Because you remember when you go into college, you want to get those little activities, those
Everything. Yeah. You
clubs.
got to do
You
community
want to make
service.
sure
You got
your
to do it all.
resume is stacked. You got
Mhm.
kids that missed out on the last trimester, the fourth quarter.
Think
Every
about the
kid missed
baseball
out.
players and all that. In
Yeah,
the
they
spring
missed out the
sport.
fourth quarter. Look
Right.
at that.
Right.
This could have been my year where I could have been looked at, and now that's gone.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, and we really have to pay attention to that really could deal with a lot of these kids' mentals.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think that like stress is crazy right now. They saying it's gonna get worse before it gets better. But this virus, it really shook the whole, like you said, you got, graduation, you got students who are trying to, load their resume for college. You got athletes who are trying to get scholarships, get those final looks. And everything has been kind of shaken up. So we don't know how it's going to affect things, but we know it's going to affect things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. So on the mental side. All right, so the community, so I spoke to two of my people. One of my people work at Montefiore, and then one of my people work at Bronx Lab. They're saying that there's trailers outside, man, of dead bodies and all kinds of crazy stuff. So we were talking about the mentals earlier. One thing that we overlooking is like the healthcare workers' mentals. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So that's another one. So a lot of the time I work out with one of my neos, Danny.
Okay.
He's in the healthcare system and he just graduated. He's a good guy, you know what I mean? He jumped right into the healthcare system and he's trying to he's in school right now, but he works in the hospital. And we was working out this week actually. It's happened like 2 days ago. So we working out, you know, we just finished working out. So we sitting down. Usually we like to like catch up on the week, you know, and we like each other's like spirit, you know, lines. You know what I mean? We give each other good vibes. So we're talking and he's sharing with me like, yo, Kev, I seen like 2 dead bodies the other day, man, and like this disease and this pandemic is just getting crazy and it's taking a toll on me. And I'm talking to him like, yo, it's all right, man. And I'm really appreciating this because this is becoming the norm. Like at the same time, like, you know, we may watch movies and you might see these things, but nobody sees a dead body every single day. Nobody has to deal with that. Nobody sees families come in or can't even see your family. You understand? You can't be in the hospital and the bodies just dropping in. You can't have a funeral.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't have a funeral. You can't have money because a lot of these things are happening out of the blue. We have a lot of individuals that are passing away out of the blue. You have a lot of seniors that are passing away out of the blue. You understand? Like a lot of people weren't prepared for this moment, and funerals are very expensive and very, you know, detrimental to a person's finances. So it's kind of hard for you to come up with money out of the blue, and you can't even have a funeral because you can't have people gathering amongst each other. So imagine someone you really love, you want to celebrate them, you can't do that.
Right.
So it's like it's hard, and they have to do this every day.
Yeah, and I mean, it's right now it's overexposure to death. So it's kind of like almost like military, you know, if you're in Afghanistan, if you're in Iraq, which not to say, you know, you're prepared for, but you know that you're going to a different country to, you know what I'm saying, engage in war. This coming to, you know, your home turf. If you've been working at the hospital 3 years, you know, this is part of your routine. This is part of your norm. And for it to kind of shake what the norm is, you know what I'm saying? I think that definitely affects how we adjust to things and how we look at stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely.
So I just want to make sure everyone out there is kind of taking care of their mental health. The essential workers, I know they're talking hazard pay. I don't know what they're gonna do. But
I'm not sure about that. It's definitely needed. It's deserved because a lot of individuals have the capability of working from home, but these individuals can't work from home. They have to go into the fire. And it's like they have to go into the fire, and it's like you want to make sure they're compensated and show some level of appreciation. And that even money doesn't equate to, you know, the value of your life. You understand? That's what a lot of these people are giving their lives going to work every day. A lot of we have to understand there are people that work in the hospital that don't even go home to their families because they're scared of contaminating their families.
Right.
Like really think about that. There's people that are sleeping in their cars, sleeping at hotels, staying at work because they don't want to contaminate their family. There are people that cannot be around the loved ones that they've been around every day. Like I was watching a series on Netflix. It was I think it was Containment or something like that, and it was similar. There was like an infection in a specific area of the city, and they shut the city down where the infection was. So imagine you going into work one day and your family, your wife and your kids are on the other side of the fence.
And they shut down.
They shut it down.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's how it's not as severe as what I'm saying in the thing, but this is what it is in someone's mind. That's why dealing with it mentally, because these people can't go home, can't show the love to their parents. Like I see a lot of people whose parents' birthdays are coming up and they can't show love and hug their parents. You know what I mean? When's the next time you'll see their parents? You don't know if something will happen. So
even Easter got canceled.
Yeah.
Easter got canceled. You know, Mother's Day is coming up. You know, we definitely got.
They canceled the car show.
Oh man, out here they got the something in the water, pretty big festival, but that's
Oh,
a wrap.
wow. Okay.
They canceling everything. But even with the essential workers, right? So a lot of us think healthcare, but you know, custodians who are already typically financially, you know, living paycheck to paycheck, and
Hmm.
now they're going into the lions den to kind of make sure we're safe. But like you said, bring these things back home to the family. You
You
know,
got
over
custodians, you got supermarket workers, you have
right,
police officers, firefighters,
right,
you have all these sanitation workers, you
MTA.
have empty transit workers, you have. You know what I mean? These are individuals that have to go to work every single. I see my boy Taft just joined. Taft, he work in sanitation. I see him go to work every single day, and you really get put in the fire, and you
Right.
have to deal with this. So I believe hazard pay should be given. It should be
Yeah,
compensated to these individuals.
I think they need it. You know, hazard pay, mental health for the families. What's the feel of the politics like? I mean, I know everyone's trying to figure it out. But what's the feel in the office like pre COVID-19 versus like now?
So pre COVID-19, it was kind of hectic because we were, like I said, it was
Election.
it's campaign season.
Right.
But my job is I was doing a lot of work in the district. This year, we were supposed to have our YMCA this year.
Okay.
I by Cardinal Spellman, we were able to allocate some funds to get the YMCA in the area, and when we were able to get that, it was allocated to. I mean, it was supposed to open this year in
Mm,
December, and that kind of stopped because the construction workers
right.
can't work either. So that kind of stopped that, and we were really planning to get that. I was planning to do a big job fair to get some people in the district some jobs there. So that kind of stopped that. We have a big event called Musical of Violence,
Hmm.
where we do something in the district. We're kind of instead of, because we had a big game bus, we had a Bronx 120 gang bus a couple of years ago, and we
Oh,
had
that's
a
cool.
lot of young kings, got locked up. A lot of young kings and queens got locked up, and it was kind of crazy. People, beef is something inevitable. We always grew up in areas don't like each other, but it's kind of foolish, and being like we never had people like us back in the day that could be really going around and really talk to people and
Right.
try to stop things, and that's what we try to do now. So we do something called Music Over Violence because we have a lot of talented young kings and queens in the neighborhood. So we bring them together and kind of make them showcase their entrepreneurship,
Okay.
showcase their musical talent. So we were working on a lot of things. Now it's like everything we're focusing on is COVID-19, which is good. We're trying to get more PPE supplies to the hospitals,
Yeah.
the nursing homes. So that's something we're trying to do right now. I've been doing something where I'm partnering with Triple Deuce. It's a restaurant in my area, on like 2 blocks up from me on 222nd in Boston
Okay.
Road. Um, and they're just giving food back, giving lunches to essential workers. That's why I've been going around and delivering these meals to essential workers. Small token of appreciation.
That's
Still
awesome, though,
nothing.
man. For real.
Still nothing that could thank them enough for the work that they're doing. But giving them lunches, trying to get supplies for them. We've been going around. I've been going around with Senator Bailey's office. A guy I went to church with, good brother, who's a senator in our area now. We've been going around with his chief of staff Jason to drop hand sanitizers and lit into into our constituents mailboxes.
Hmm.
Um, the census was this year, so we were
Texas
going
was
around.
yeah.
So we were going around because our area was one of the lowest turnouts of the census last time it was taken. So we was trying to go around and push everybody to listen. The census is only like 3 minutes. Please
Right.
just get counted. Count everyone in your house. We were trying to alert schools, churches, nursing homes, senior centers everywhere. Going doing that. I was doing my fitness thing that you see I do with the
Yeah, I see
seniors.
it.
We were doing a lot of work, and like now we're just really trying to focus on doing things remotely, being that we can. So I've been doing a lot of Zoom conferences. I've been doing lives with fitness. I've been doing like fitness classes live on Facebook. So I'm
Okay.
still trying to stay active and keep everyone active as much as possible.
Nah, that's awesome. I see our high school alumni Diddy. He had his little dance-a-thon thing, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
He said it was raising some funds for the healthcare workers, PPEs, and that kind of stuff. Now I
Yeah.
know you had some questions about mental health too, right?
Yeah. So what I want to ask you now is, I know that you're in the being that you're in the mental health field. I'm a person that was going to therapy before this pandemic was going on. Just going to talk to somebody, just telling them what you're going through and kind of listen to their point of view. Somebody that's on the outside professional.
Right.
And I know when I first wanted to go to therapy, I really wanted to like sit there with the person
Right.
and like really have that connection.
Right.
Now it's easy where I could just call the person on the phone and like just have a conversation, just check on them, check on me, see how things are going. Because with this pandemic, we're dealing with a lot of situations, a lot of stress. People losing their jobs, people can't work, people are inside.
Yeah.
They're dealing with stresses with their family within the household. So a lot of things. So how do you, as a person that has clients, how do you feel like you're still able to connect with your clients if you're not able to be right in front of them?
Right. So, and when we spoke about this, I sat with it for a while because I think therapy offers like a safe space, right? So you go into a therapist's office, you're not in your home. You don't have to worry about mom hearing you or your wife hearing you. It's just you and the therapist, and you have total vulnerability. So whether that means you want to yell, you want to scream, you want to cry, it's just you and that therapist. Virtually, it offers some additional challenges. For my clients, I have a pretty wide range, like as far as like finances. So you have some people who are able to go to the office and be alone, but then you have some clients to where it's like it's one room, people are kind of in and out. So I think the first negative is going to be it removes that full safe space
Yeah,
that the therapy. I feel like that the therapy office provides. I think it's a little easier virtually if you already have a relationship with a client. So like
yeah,
for instance, you were saying like talking to a therapist, you could check in. They kind of know about your situation. They know what your coping skills are. They know what your weaknesses are. So it's more of a like comprehensive. Hey, this is the plan. We're kind of sticking to the treatment plan. Um, New clients, not to say that you can't have the same connection, but I
mm,
think it's a little more solution focused. So with therapy, there's like two aspects. You got the one aspect where it's
mm,
like processing, like kind of meeting the client where they are, seeing where they want to grow. And then you have the other aspect where it's like once you've identified those goals, this is how we get there. So you have an anxiety, these are some things to do for anxiety. You have a depression, these are some things to do for depression, right? You have a bad relationship, whatever the case is.
yeah,
But the process side is more about where's the anxiety stemming from? When did you first start dealing with depression? So I think that, you're definitely able to get the solution focused aspect probably equally, but I think the whole processing and connecting is a little limited. As we know, body language is most of the communication. Not to say that you lose it all virtually, but it's definitely limited. And it's another thing that's kind of funny. So I was doing research on, they call it telemental health, which is like virtual counseling. So it could be over the phone, it could be
mm,
video. Some people consider text like Talkspace,
yeah,
virtual counseling. So like the effectiveness of it, best practices and things like that before COVID-19 happened. So I think that are we considered millennials? I think so.
yeah. We are.
All
We're
right, so I
millennials.
think being like a millennial mental health professional before, I was always trying to find what that merge was. But with COVID-19 and pushing everything into the information age, it kind of puts you up to the plate. But I think there's some benefits, but definitely some limitations too.
Do you get? Do you have you been getting more clients since this happened?
So I say initially things fell off. Right now, I'm kind of thinking about a marketing, and this is going to be a good conversation. A marketing strategy, because when people hit therapy, right, you automatically think like all the way mental health. So like depression, anxiety, marital issues, substance abuse, stuff like that. But then you have the other side of therapy where it's more empowering, where it's more like having a safe space to talk, being able to kind of process your thoughts in a safe space and grow. And it's also a stress management technique. So I think that everyone's stressed right now and everyone definitely needs therapy. And my goal is to try to use therapy to like empower the community. So you know how you said you're able to kind of go out to the community and, you know, connect the dots and be a resource for people. I want to be able, as especially an African American therapist, to use therapy as a tool to empower the community. So, and this is funny because after our conversation yesterday, I was thinking like, yeah, you know, with the safe space of therapy, like how can I make it? Because obviously everyone's stressed out, but I think that the term therapy for some people, it kind of puts them on guard. So I'm thinking about some kind of like stress management techniques and things like. It's still therapy, but it's just the way of kind of giving it to the people so it's easier to consume.
And that's good because you have to understand a lot of people deal with stress. Like everyone gets stressed.
Right.
Everyone has stress in their
And
life.
you deal with it some way, whether it's
And
good or bad.
someone deals with it in good. Some people deal with bad. Like a lot of times when I felt overwhelmed, and that's a part of stress, being overwhelmed sometimes. I go anxiety, like my man Trish said, what's up, bro? I go to the gym. I work out. I'm able to do those things. Now I'm not able to go to my safe space because that's shut down. You have individuals that sometimes they want to go out and party with their friends or be around or go to church. They can't do that. Like my mother, I know when my mother gets stressed out, she loves going to, I mean, she goes to church anyway, but it gives her, she like goes and word. It gives her some kind of relief. And a lot of people don't have that space right now to get that relief. So it is dope. It is kind of, you know, and this is what this pandemic is going to teach us. Everything is going to change after this.
Everything's
People are going to get more technical with technology, more virtual. People going to think of other mechanisms to help people out that isn't hands-on, because this can happen again. Something like this could keep us, you know what I mean? We never thought something like this would happen.
Feels like a movie, bro.
Yeah, it really does. Like, we live in New York City. Like, I'm in New York City right now, and they're telling us, like, stay home. And, like, if you go, you know, places in New York City that are always packed. Fordham Road. Let's take Fordham Road.
Times Square.
Fordham Road is always at Times Square.
Right.
Empty. Fordham. Empty.
Right.
You understand? Downtown Brooklyn. Empty.
Mm.
You understand? Central Park, empty. Midtown, empty. Soho, empty. You
Right.
understand? You have places around here, and they're not being populated by people because we're going through something so traumatic. And even when it opens back up, everything's going to change. People are not going to be around each other. People are going to still walk around with masks. Like, when you go outside, everyone has on a mask. It's like you can't tell who is who.
Right.
Like, these are times that we're dealing with, and it's very imperative for us to come up with stressing ways we could cope with our stress. Yeah, and I really feel like you should come up with ways, like take a moment throughout the day. Like, sometimes we're home and we may be watching Netflix all day.
Right.
And that's not necessarily healthy. Sometimes we may just need, like, go take 30 minutes, go get a book, read a book, write in a book, write how you feel. Keep a routine, do something different that's not just sitting down on the couch. And then
some people are waking up, bro.
You know, you feeling just lazy.
Some people are waking up and, like you said, watching Netflix. I mean, they're not, you know, taking showers. It's one day turns into 3 days, and at that point, you know, you're already socially isolating.
There's some good series on Netflix, man. There's some. I was watching.
There's some good stuff.
I was watching Ozark. My fiance, she was watching this series called Beauty and the Beast, and I remember one night she broke night just watching it. Just watching it because it was so good. Like, it was so good to her. So she was broke night with it. So you have people doing this on a constant basis, repetitive, and you're not doing that different. And, like, look when this happens, like when everything's over, what's gonna happen after that? Right. We have to transition back into a life where we have to go to work. Some people may enjoy this time, like, I don't want to go back to work. Right. You know I mean, like you said, I think it's pushing everything. Yeah. I feel like before we were, all right, so when you think of 2020, right? All right, let me take it a step back. So the whole purpose of, like, this collab is, remember Y2K? Yep. Y2K? All right, so remember everybody was, like, going crazy, like, oh my God, everything's going to. So it's like now this is like the real Y2K. Like, we're in 2020, but when we were predicting, take out the banks, but
the country's pretty much shut down. Back then we were thinking, 20 years it's going to be flying cars and stuff like that. Technology is like the forefront. So I feel like our generation, we're kind of emerging to the professional ages now, right? So, we're able to, be CEOs of companies and, have high offices, and we have that technological background. So I feel like, just like as everything else changes and adjusts, it has to be a major shift in the culture, and then the ones who are able to do it kind of step up, and the other ones, they either phase out or get acclimated.
Yeah, this is going to teach us that we need to start thinking forward.
Right.
We need to start thinking ahead. We just can't be stagnant with how we thinking how we deal with things is going to be how
it has to be.
This is not how our society is going to benefit moving forward. Like doing the same things how we're doing now. Like we need a plan in place I'm trying to think of the right words to say. I'm always trying to be politically correct.
No, yeah, you're doing your thing.
But we have to have a plan in place in case a situation like this happens, because who would have thought we would close down schools, and then we had to think of a plan, quickly.
Who would have thought New York City would be closed down?
Yeah,
if I would have said this like 2 months ago, like, no way. I mean, they'll figure something out. Like, they're not gonna.
Exactly. Like Wall Street is closed down.
Right.
Like, you understand? Like, everything is just stopped. Everything just stopped. So we really have to think about forward thinking after this, like moving forward. How can we be better? How can we prepare for something like this if it happens again or if it transpires again?
Right, for sure. We want to make sure everyone's kind of staying safe. Definitely practice social distancing. I think Zoom is a great platform. I bought some stocks. You know what I'm saying? I see everybody zoomed up, man.
Everybody buying stocks in Zoom. Everyone's buying stocks in airline companies.
Boeing, I heard Boeing is going up.
Boeing's going up.
Yeah, different airlines, they're gonna get bailed out, and people.
But this is some time that, and I would tell everybody to take this time and like something like stocks. If you're not very knowledgeable about stocks, take this time and educate yourself. You have nothing but time right now. Instead of that's what I meant by that time. Like, it's cool, like, to don't utilize this time like, oh, it's a vacation, I'm just home. Keep your mind still going. Like, keep your mind still effective. Find something that you weren't able to do before and master it by the time this pandemic ends.
Right, and you could always educate yourself. YouTube, like Earn Your Leisure is a great podcast. I don't know if you're familiar with that. So it's two brothers, they're from New York, and they just kind of teach financial literacy. Like, they had DJ Envy up there.
Oh, that's good. All right.
Yeah, real estate moguls. They just had an episode with the young boy from Philly. It's called Spurgo. He has different like jumpsuits. He's 14. He retired his mom, but just different money moves that people are making. I find myself every day, man, I'm listening to Eric Thomas. Like, I'm waking up.
That's my spirit animal. E.
Yeah, man. He's tough, man. I mean, I can listen to him when I'm running and stuff. He's tough, but like you said, just kind of identifying the things that you want to achieve and making sure that you lock in and put that time in.
Yeah, Eric Thomas is definitely somebody I listen to. Another brother is somebody from my neighborhood, Sherman Brown. He's an up and coming motivational speaker. And he has
on YouTube or what?
Yeah, he's on YouTube, Facebook, he's on Instagram. Sherman Brown, dope guy. He does a lot of empowering speeches. He does a little rap. He got bars too, so it'd be dope what he does too.
He nice.
Yeah. Sherman's good, B. I'd be surprised. And he got kids. If you got the kids going, then he's saying some stuff, man. The kids he said. So he be having the kids going and stuff. So yeah, I try to keep that routine going. And it's like, and another stress thing is too, a lot of people have to work from home and also be teachers to their kids. Like, you have to teach the kid a curriculum while you're home too. So I mean, it's a lot that we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of people are dealing with. You know, if you could come together, come together. But we want to make sure everyone's kind of practicing that social distance. For
Yeah.
people who are working from home, so one resource a lot of people don't know about is EAPs, so employee assistance programs. So let's say
Okay.
you work for, I don't know, Verizon. A lot of times it's a benefit that you have where you can speak to a counselor and it will be like no out of pocket. You don't have to go through your insurance. It's a limited amount of sessions, but it's a good resource to, if you want to, hey, I'm dealing with this stress, like I'm
Yeah.
managing this with that, can you help me come up with a routine, or, what can I prioritize? Just somebody to kind of process your thoughts with for, no out of pocket expense. I think that could be a really good resource for people.
That's good. How do you get connected with that?
So it'll be through your HR. So just call your HR and say, do we have employee assistance program? And then
Oh, you
essentially
said
what you do.
employee assistance program.
Yeah, EAP.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah. All
you're
right. All right.
familiar, right?
Yeah. I'm familiar
Yeah,
with that. All right.
right. So, and another thing people
I
don't
thought
know
you was
what
talking
EAP.
about software.
Oh, no.
Oh, all right.
So another thing with EAP, so let's say, you have a therapist. So let's say myself, right? I'm in your area and I'm doing virtual, but I may not necessarily be with your EAP. You could just contact your EAP like, hey, yeah, I want to see Dr. Norton, like, and they'll just kind of make things happen. So,
So they're gonna set up the Zoom and everything for you, the
yeah.
appointment, or you have to contact the doctors and do that also.
So you'll have to schedule the appointment. So, all right, for my practice, how it works is I already use an electronic medical record. So, like, you don't have to come in and sign the paper and all that kind of stuff. You do everything from the computer. And then with my company, we send you the link the day of the appointment. So, let's say you got a 5 o'clock appointment. You'll get the link that morning, and then it's like a little virtual waiting room. But essentially, yeah, you'll have to like do whatever paperwork you have to do with whoever the provider is, but they handle the payment. You don't have to worry about, your
Yeah,
insurance or
of course.
copays, deductibles, or anything like that.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
especially people with deductibles, man. A lot of people don't know, like, if you got like a $2,500 deductible, that means you got to meet that before your insurance company, deals with anything. So that's,
Yeah,
that's another
and
thing.
that's stressful too. But the governor he set legislation that will stop that in New York. I know.
Okay, people don't have to do out of pocket.
So no legislation for people that were paying back medical bills in the
Okay,
state. So he
okay,
kind of postponed it for, I believe it was 90 days. He postponed it for.
awesome.
Yeah. So it kind of takes away some stress that people are dealing with.
Nah, that's good. That's good. I know we're about to wrap up soon. Let the people know where they can find you.
Well, you can find me at Instagram, Kevin C. Riley. You can find me on my campaign page, Riley for the Bronx. Just check me
Rally
out.
for the Bronx.
I even one thing I gotta speak about. I didn't even get a chance to touch on today. Something else that stopped today. I'm excuse me, with this pandemic is the dad gang.
All right,
So
ladies.
yeah, we didn't even get a chance to talk about the dad gang.
Right. Shout out to dads, man.
So the Dad Gang is an organization that was founded 3 years ago by my fraternity brother, my special, Sean Williams. He was actually in the supermarket one day, and he has three beautiful children. And he was with his daughter, and he lived in Long Island, so individuals in that area don't really look like him.
Right.
So they seen him. This lady seen him. This white lady seen him, and she was like, "Oh, I'm glad you stuck around." And he kind of took offense to it, where like,
Yeah, what you mean?
"Yeah, I stuck around." So he was like, I know a couple of dads that, are in the kids' life. And I just had my daughter that year. So I was all over the internet with my daughter.
Right.
You know what I mean? So what he did was he started putting out positive images of Black fatherhood. Because a lot of times when you think of the media, you only think about the negative with fathers.
Right.
And the thing about Black men in our culture, because a lot of the thing is, that's just not, because the reason I joined the dad gang is I didn't have my father in my life because he got incarcerated by, how the system was back in the day. So
Yeah.
still is. He
Right.
got incarcerated and he wasn't from here, so he got deported back to Jamaica. So I didn't have him in my life. I didn't have him during high school. I didn't have a father, and I have two beautiful girls. But it's kind of hard to teach a man to be a father if he never had one around him, or he didn't have
I'm
a positive image. Because you
same
have to
same
think about it.
same story, bro. My
Yeah,
dad, he didn't get deported. He moved to Florida.
yeah,
So
but
yeah.
you have so much Black men
Right.
that, or so many minority men that never seen a positive male figure in their life.
And you
So it's
try to figure it out.
so you're trying to figure it out as you're going. Like I'm not. I tell people all the time. Like when I was growing up, I had a strong mother. My mother did everything for me. I had a strong sister. I had an older sister. She did everything for me. But I didn't have a male figure in my life.
Right.
I mean, I had my uncle. My uncle was cool, and he did what he could do, but he didn't live with me. He wasn't there every
It's
single day.
different. It's different.
There's the things that I went through that I needed a male figure to be in my life, and you have men that know that go through these things, and like a lot of the situation I went through in my life could have been rectified if I had that male. Like, yo, listen, don't do that, man. Like,
Right.
I did that before. You
Right.
understand? Like,
Oh,
this
that's
is
not
what's
the
going to happen.
guidance. The guidance.
Some guidance. You understand? So me joining the dad gang is just to get that support, to add that support system. So
Right.
I have two beautiful girls. Like I have a good morale, but there are men out there that get lost. They might get lost. You understand? Like
It's
I
easy
felt
to
like
get lost. You hear all these
it's
pressures.
even easier now because we have social media now.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Like we have social media now, so it's even easier now to get lost where you're paying attention to so many different things and we're losing ourselves and we're thinking like, yo, as a black man, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to be this way. And we're not learning like that's not how it's supposed to go, fam. Like you want to be there for your family, you need your family to grow together, you need a strong family structure inside your household. So the dad gang is we're trying to change the narrative how the world views black fatherhood. So we had things planned. Like the shirt I'm wearing right now is an event we have called Strolling with the Homies.
Right.
We asked everybody to, pull up. We asked dudes to pull up with their children, and we'll walk in unison just to show solidarity that we're all here.
Right.
Like black fathers are in their child's life. We're here. We're supporting you. There's situations that I may go through that my brother, and that has happened plenty of times. Or I might even hit you up like, yo, bro, how do you deal with this, man? How did you? Yeah. My daughter, I'll give you a funny story. My daughter, everyone knows this. I share it on Instagram all the time. My daughter had this crush on this boy in class.
Oh man.
So she'll anytime she walks, she'll act shy. We see the boy, this and that, this and that. So one time, her and the boy, they got into it. They got into it at school. So she was like really heartbroken, like, oh, he doesn't talk to me. And I'm there like, you really think about it. Like, you think it's funny, but you have to understand how you deal with your kids and interact with them.
It's how
You're teaching them something. You're teaching them. So I'm asking, because I realized I was laughing and joking around with it a lot, but I could be doing that now, and this could add up later on in life where she feels like I'm just doing it. So I asked my brother that, Sean has an older daughter, she's a teenager. And I asked like, yo, how do you like deal with somebody? And he'll give me some guidance.
Right.
You know
That's what it is. Synergy. People with life
it's a
learning
support
goals.
system. And so I have brothers that are having children now that might hit me up like, yo, I'm Kev, I'm having a kid. This and that. How you? And I always tell people like, yo, no matter what you go through with the child's mother, or with anything, you make sure you're in that child's life. Because at the end of the day, it does not matter who you deal with or who you end up with at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, that's still your child. And you have to make sure you're in your child's life. So with the dad game, we had a couple events program around that. We had Strolling with the Homies where we go nationwide. We go in different states. We might come to Virginia soon, man. I'll make sure to come to Virginia.
Yeah.
Where we go to different states and we try to do this walk. We have something where we do brunches. Where we have dads come, we do brunch karaoke's and things of that nature. So we had different, and we have some other stuff playing. I don't want to tell all the stuff right now.
Don't let it all out.
It's under the wrap still. So, but we had a lot of stuff planned, and like it's just now we have to really like just postpone it because of what's going on. So,
any virtual things that I could be a part of, man, let me know for sure. I think
most definitely.
So I seen the Dad Gang brand before I knew you were a part of it. So you guys are definitely making some.
Yeah. It's it's all Kappas, and we got Zeta on also. So I mean, you have to have a woman on because they.
That's crazy.
They keep everything together.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
They keep everything together. So we had to get our homegirl Charmaine. She's wonderful. So we're just trying to change the narrative. There's certain things. There's certain things we got in the works coming up. We try and make it entertaining, and add our swag to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Black dads don't. That's why we got our shirts. We do our shirts. We do our funny videos. Follow the Dad Gang. I think we at 81,000 followers now on Instagram. We love posting, you know, beautiful images of Black fatherhood. We post things you could do with your kids during the pandemic. We have little challenges like we just recently had like a pancake challenge to do with your kids. And we posted videos and we had a couple of things coming up, but then with this pandemic, it kind of stopped everything.
Right, I know everyone should Maslow's hierarchy, so make sure that you're safe before.
What's up, Dad?
But you know what? Once everything gets back up and running, man, you know, just keep pushing because that's important. Having that positive Black male narrative.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Sure. Another thing, I just keep forgetting, man. Another thing we was doing, I'm also a mentor for President Obama's My Brother's Keepers program.
Tough, man.
Shout out my mentees. What we doing now? President Obama a couple of years ago, he added the My Brother's Keepers Foundation.
Right.
Initiative to kind of, you know, change the narrative how kids in inner city, minority kids and inner city men grow up, you know, giving them mentors. So what we do is what I do is I'm a mentor, and we're supposed to take an issue in the community. So the kid takes an issue in the community, they're supposed to do a service project. And they do the service project in areas. So this pandemic stopped that. So we have four mentees, and two of them did the service project, but two had to do two more. And the next one we were doing actually dealt with mental health. That's why I just remember as I'm talking to you.
Listen, once things get up, I'm a resource, bro. So you know.
Yeah, man. Oh, most definitely, bro. Most definitely. We were doing he wanted to do like a round table, and we was gonna do something on mental health. And and that's dope because when I go talk to kids now, they talk about that.
It's different.
They be like, how do you deal with stress? I'm like, what? How do you know about that?
You know, we had
career fair,
5XTs and
we had 5XTs. We want to know about Dipset. Like, we want to ask you came to career day.
About
what is the number one question you think kids ask on career day? How much money you make? Every kid asks how much money you make. The top 3 questions now that kids asking career day is how much money you make still. Right. How do you deal with stress? And what do you do if you have a conflict within your workplace and you want to deal with it professionally?
That's a good question.
Yeah, those are like that third one caught me off guard, but those are the 3 questions I get a lot when I go into, you know, career days. But how do you deal with stress is up there with how much money you make. Wow. So it's like
it's a different mindset.
Yeah, it's a different mindset of like what our kids are thinking about now. So it's really dope, man. It's so dope, man.
Nah, for sure. I mean, I just think, you know, manifestation, you got a lot of stuff going on, but it's all going in the right direction, man. For the community. So, you know, keep going. You know, prayers up, bro, for you for sure. But you know, just you people are looking at you, bro.
Tristan asked how you answer the money question. I try to be truthful with them, to be honest. I'm making some good money now, so I can answer it honestly now. Yeah, I can answer it honestly now, but I try to answer it truthfully because you don't want to stray. So you try to tell kids to like get your feet wet because I thought I wanted to be a doctor when I was younger, but I never walked into a doctor's office unless I was getting checked. Right. I never tried to work into a doctor's office. You know what I mean? So I try to tell them like, yo, get your feet wet. When I first started working politics, I was making pennies.
Right.
But throughout the years and the person I work for now, I'm making some good money now. You know what I mean? So I'm able to make 6 figures now. So that's a good, you know what I mean? So I'm able to go tell a kid, like, yeah, I can make 6 figures. They're like, all right, I can deal with that, man. I can get with the politics. And, you know,
they feel that, man.
I can get with that. And you try to attract them because a lot of times when I go see them, I might wear some sneakers. Right. I might wear a suit. And with some sneakers, you know what I mean?
Come on, yeah, you know what's going on.
Yeah, you might, because you wanna. That's my icebreaker. Because as soon as I walk in the house, I'm like, oh, you got those, you got those. I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? I do. That's my icebreaker. Now I can talk to you about anything. Right. Now when I'm talking to you about my job and talking about my career, you interested. You like, yeah, hey, man, I like it, man. I can wear them sneakers and go. I can do this. I like that. And they'll get interested in it. Sometimes I'll be trying to get them internships or things of that nature, or try to be a mentee to them. So. I mean, a mentor to them, so.
Nah, definitely. Dope, I think not even the kids. I think like college too. Like, you know, I teach at Hampton.
Oh God, man. You think that? Nah, just look at that. Look, because look, we frat. We both Catholic. Right. Imagine us pledging right now, and this just all happened.
Oh my God! Yeah, no, yeah. So,
imagine you just made it. So, or you just crossed the burning sands, and this just happened. It's
quiet.
And you graduate this year.
It's quiet. What do you do? Nothing.
It's sad, man. I feel for all of you, man. I feel for
2020, man. Everybody, 2020 students, man. We got prayers up for you and support. All that kind of stuff. You know, I don't think anyone was expecting this to happen, but we're here. We want to make sure everybody's safe. But yeah, I mean, this is changing the trajectory of a lot of things, man. For real.
Yeah, most definitely, man.
For real. So, any closing remarks, bro?
Everyone just stay safe. Try to lend a helping hand wherever you can. Doesn't mean that you have to, go out and see anybody, but call people and check up on them, man. Like during this time, I just call people and just try to check up on them, send them texts, like check if you all right, just to make sure you're good, man. Just because you never know, man. Like a lot of people are losing their lives. A lot of people are going through it, and we don't know.
Right, anything. We don't know.
We don't know anything. You know what I mean? Because we have to understand, social media is a platform where everyone puts the great things that are going on in their life. And a lot of people do a lot of things outside, and they have a lot of things going on for us. And a lot of people are inside right now. They can't do a lot of things that bring revenue to their pockets. You know what I'm saying? They can't do a lot of things that bring happiness to them. And they're just secluded inside their household. If you're not happy with inside your household, you're going crazy. So check up on people, man. Just check to see if everyone's doing okay. I've been doing a lot of FaceTime. I remember people used to FaceTime me before. I'd be like, dang, why you FaceTime me now?
Nah, now it's
but
anybody
but everyone FaceTime me now, I'll pick up because I miss everyone. It's like, oh, what up, man? How you doing? Like, it don't matter what you're doing. So it's like, just check up on people, man. Just check up on everybody, man. And I appreciate you doing this. I think mental health is very, very important, man. Make sure that you check up on your mental health. Do things that relieve your stress. If there were things that you were doing to relieve your stress prior to this and this pandemic happened, try to figure out something else to kind of relieve your stress or kind of find the intermediate way to do that thing that made you happy. Just take care of your mental health, man. Take care of your mental being. Go outside, step outside, get some fresh air, but then go right back inside because you got to stay home. You got to stay home so we can get through this. We got to stay home.
And practice that social distancing, too.
Social distance, 6 feet.
6 feet.
Add another 6 to it, make it 12 feet. So you gotta do. You might have to do 12 feet soon. I seen an article that they were talking about 12 feet. So
12 feet with the social distancing.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying the surge is going to be in the future. So, but yeah, like piggybacking off what you're saying, man. Just everyone find what that happiness looks like. Find that routine. Stay safe and try to tap into your support network for sure.
No doubt, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you coming on, bro. And I'll send you a text once this is once
cool.
we off Facebook. But appreciate you, bro.
All right, man.
All right, man. Be safe, yo.
All right, man.
Yo.